Fire was growing and growing and growing. It was not stopping.
The sky was black. You could see a sun that just looked like a golden orb in the sky.
It was like a ghost town. I mean, everybody was gone.
It was raining ash.
Imagine you being in the thickest fog that you can't see more than, 2-3 feet in front of you.
We received a knock on our door, and we're told by the fire department that it was getting very close, and we needed to evacuate our home.
The fires jumped 95, all hell breaking loose. We were not prepared for this.
It just went across 4 lanes, Seminole Woods Boulevard. It's just like this wall of fire. Never seen anything like it in my life.
The tips of the flames, you can see them there. And I remember going to Chief, we gotta move, we gotta go, we got to go.
Fire. It can be our friend or our enemy. In 1998, fire was Florida's enemy. Starting in late spring and stretching over 2 months, dozens of wildfires raged relentlessly across Florida, affecting all 67 counties, engulfing nearly 500,000 acres in 2,200 separate fires. Some land was wild, some urban, all made national news.
98, the all call went out because Seminole Woods was on fire. We got an alphanumeric page on our pagers. It says, "The town's burning, come in." It was pretty ominous. It was a day that you just don't forget, very surreal. When the fire broke out and the wind caught it, the wind was probably 25, 30 miles an hour. It started rushing towards these houses, and we didn't have a lot of equipment or personnel.
Flagler County was hit hard the entire month of June and early July. Over 82,000 acres scorched, 254 homes destroyed or damaged, 67 homes were destroyed in Palm Coast, and over $6 million in total losses.
Well, I felt sorry for the people because the houses were completely wiped out. There were 0 cinder blocks. It looks like a war zone.
It's hot, desert, dry. The drought index was approaching 800, which is close to desert range. Fires were just popping up like crazy, and everybody knew we were all taxed to the limits. Everybody gave each other space when they needed it. Everybody came together when we had to. The resilience of the crews getting the work done is what kept everybody going on.
It was very tough, and people are losing homes.
Our firefighters were assisted by firefighters from all over the country. All hands on deck to quench these beasts capable of igniting even the greenest of plants in its path or consuming a house in an instant.
First time I had seen fire that devastating. I'd never seen that before. I got upset. They took us down 95, and when they got adjacent to this property, you could look right through the trees that were left, and we could see the houses. I could see my house, and I could see Linda and Sam's house, and we knew then that they was gone. Before then, we couldn't tell what the devastation was. Couldn't tell how far the fire had gone, whether it burned down everything or whether something was still left, but we knew then that was it. Al Gore came, and he and Lawton Childs was extremely interested. And when he found out that there was a 1971 vintage Jaguar that had burned up, he wanted to see it. He stood in the window. He said, "Oh my God, what happened?" I said, "It burned up." A mailbox out front and that dock in the back was all that was left. So you can imagine it skipped over the mailbox, it burned the house down, skipped over the dock, skipped over the lake, and burned houses on the other side of the lake.
Our entire county was evacuated. The first and only time that has happened in Florida. And the 4th of July was canceled.
We had heard rumors around town that there was an evacuation that was probably pending, something that was coming in the next day or so. And my family was pretty scared, so we decided to leave a little early. And thank goodness we did. I-95 was pretty much shut down. Fire was everywhere, smoke was everywhere. And we got on Highway 11, leaving Bunnell, thinking we should get out that way. And there was fire on both sides of the road. It took us 12 hours just to go the 4-hour drive it would normally take to go to South Florida.
We were able to go back to our home, and it was just such a sense of relief that our home was still there. So we were just so thankful and appreciative to the fire department. But to actually meet Lieutenant Holmes, it was really neat. The only reason that our home was there is because the Palm Coast Fire Department was literally in our yard fighting the flames. That we had a vacant lot right beside us, and the lot was just gone. And you could see where a lot of our yard had been burnt and singed. So we heard the story where the fire department saved our home by staying there, fighting the flames around our home.
We all had a vested interest. This was our town, this was our city, and these were our families and friends that we were protecting and serving.
Fire could not destroy our community spirit.
People were really very, very sympathetic. Restaurants were giving discounted or free food the day after the fire. Quite moving, as a matter of fact.
We were thankful that the people recognized that the fire department does do a good job. They loaded the firehouse with cakes and soda, and they gave us a lot of supplies.
I had the honor, the privilege to meet President Clinton. There was a rally at the Daytona International Speedway. The place was transformed from a speedway to a large staging area to be used through Volusia, Flagler County. I'm not really sure how I ended up being the person selected to introduce President Clinton, but it was quite an honor.
I'm here because I think it's important that every American knows that this summer, notwithstanding the great movies, the real American heroes are not up in space fighting asteroids. They're in Florida fighting fires. And I thank you for that.
To go house to house and fight back the fires if it were their very own. To do that for the people of Palm Coast really shows the pride that they took in trying to save our community.
The public's sentiment after they returned and saw either their home destroyed or their home saved was praise for the firefighters. And that was shown on a lot of signs. To me, it was very rewarding because we had saved an awful lot of homes.
We knew that this wasn't going to be an event that was going to go away until Mother Nature decided she was going to open the skies and bring us a good rainfall. And that really didn't occur until probably about the second week of July.
In the wake of the fires, we had a responsibility to learn and grow from the experience.
It's extremely important for our residents to be educated about these Florida wildfires, how fast they can spread, how intense they can get, and how to prepare their homes to be fire-wise.
There's a lot of good information that can come from the city websites and from the Florida Forest Service websites. Folks can learn more about the FireWise program. If each property owner is doing their best, then it makes it a much easier defensible space or home to protect.
The city of Palm Coast owes its 1999 incorporation in part to the 98 fires. Residents wanted greater protection. 20 years ago, our firefighters took on that challenge, pursuing better equipment, more stations, personnel, training and services with smarter tactics, creating shorter response times, but above all, a stronger hope for saving lives and property.
The blue skies came out, we rebuilt, we came out of the ashes, and our department has grown with the city tremendously through that support and the leadership that we've gotten. We depend on our own councils now for that vision in that direction, which we got 3 stations and more people and more equipment. Couldn't be happier. We've been blessed to have the people running this city that we have and allowing us and the fire service to do what we need to do to make it a safe place. You know, our motto is protecting our Florida for a reason.
I think one of the takeaways from looking at the 98 fires from 20 years ago to where we're going to be 20 years from now is that fire had an effect on all the people that fought it throughout that whole summer. And we do due diligence to take that information and that experience and pass it along to the firefighters that are coming on board today. They've got great equipment, they've got good leadership that really cares about the employees that are out doing the work. And the best takeaway is that the community should feel confident that we haven't forgotten what happened in '98, and we vow not to repeat it. We know how to fight these fires and now how to use the resources that we are given to ensure that the future is much better than what we had in the past.